Greetings and welcome to you. I am Shushana, and this is going to be a reading for the year of the rabbit. So, you are the rabbit if you were born in 1951, 1963, 1975, 1987, 1999, 2011, and 2023. Um, I'm excited for your reading because I feel like there's something that you're going to accomplish that you wanted to do but didn't get done and kind of gave up on. You really sour sup. I'm drinking orange juice and sour sup. If you are a recovering alcoholic and you want to replace alcohol for something else, get sour sup bitters. And that will replace your alcohol for an amazing supplement that helps with digestion and anti-aging. 返老还童. Now, where were we, rabbits? Um, so rabbits have a wish that is near and dear to their heart, that is secret. But I kind of know what the secret is. I'm going to be using my Lakota medicine cards today. I do not use tarot. I do not download. I do not accept downloads. I do not use channeling. I simply am a scanner and energy diagnoser, diagnostics provider. Okay, so in order to see what the problem is, we have to scan it. What are the little problems that rabbits are going to be dealing with this year? So, like I said, you have a little secret, a little secret that you don't want no one to know. It's a lifestyle, it's a way of living, it's a way of being. You want your life to be magical. And your mom might have a lot of influence. Your mommy might have a lot of influence where she was enchanting, where you either had an enchanting father, enchanting sister, enchanting mother, and they just activated something that was already in you that has a desire to live a magical life. And you feel like you have got a late start where you thought that it was going to click and then it didn't, and then it clicked and then it didn't. And this coming year, it's finally going to click. So I would say in the summertime, July, August, end of June, something's going to click and you're going to get a sample of it. You're not going to get it, but you're going to get a sample. And that sample is going to inspire you to keep upgrading until you finally get 100% what you want, which in reality, we never really do get 100% of what we really want, you know? There's always going to be space for improvement. That's the whole point of living. If there was no if there was no need for improvement, then life would be quite dull and boring, now wouldn't it? So, today, with our beautiful Lakota medicine deck, we're going to be doing the Inipi Fire Pit spread, showing us what is out of balance, what needs action, and the tools that the Sweat Lodge is giving you to sustain that alignment. So now that we've talked about your little secret, let's see what is out of balance for those born the year of the rabbit. So let's keep on going. We're going to do what needs action. And put that face down. Oh, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed in seeing that. And your tool to sustain the alignment. Do, 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 do. Do you want to come out? Ah, that one flew out. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. What is out of balance? What is out of balance is 36 prayer ties. Social consciousness. So, what is out of balance right now is a social consciousness. This could either be you having an imbalance in your perception of social consciousness, or social consciousness lacking in your life where you have it but others around you don't. Okay? So, how can you be more socially conscious this coming year? It's interesting because your wish will be answered by social consciousness. So, your wish of living a magical life is actually going to be answered through people where you might have seen your parents struggle independently, or single parent struggle and do everything on their own, on their own, on their own. So you think that you're supposed to be that way, and you think that you're supposed to do everything by yourself. But that's not going to happen. People are going to help you, whether it is a Lyft driver, you know, a taxi driver, a teacher, a classmate, a neighbor, from multiple locations to, from, and fro. You know, it's not just one location. It's like you're going to get unexpected help here and unexpected help where you are headed. Okay, so don't alienate humanity. This coming year is not the year for rabbits to alienate humanity. There's a time and place for everything. Sometimes we're supposed to go MIA, and sometimes we're supposed to get out there and help people and get our hands dirty in the community, right? So that's this year for you. This year, you're going to receive medicine from your co people. And if you're not getting that now, it might just be because you're at the wrong school, the wrong job, the wrong environment. But I see that you're going to be headed towards a new destination that was not planned. It seems like this is more of a detour. And during this detour, you're going to encounter people that are going to help you unexpectedly. Okay, so don't clam up whenever there's a group of people headed your way, because somebody in that group might have your answer. What needs action? What needs action for the coming year, for the year of the rabbits? We have compulsive behavior and addictions. This has not been overcome. Unfortunately, you are still struggling with addictions, an addictive personality, perhaps dating people where there is a codependent dynamic and both of you are trashing away. Finding ways to, so if this is right next to social consciousness, you could benefit from joining a therapeutic group circle where you talk about recovering from drugs and alcoholic addictions. This could also be pornography addictions. Pornography will ruin a marriage. Pornography will ruin the positive chi of a house. So even if someone is secretly addicted to porn, it will affect the entire household. And it's really annoying, okay? Um, if I have neighbors that do anything like this, I constantly hear the word porn in my head, even though it's something I'm allergic to. There's certain things I'm allergic to in this life. I'm allergic to TikTok. I am allergic to porn. Um, and there's other things I'm allergic to where it's just like I cannot, like I'm allergic to certain things. I can't. Um, So I will hear it in my head. I will hear the word porn, porn, porn throughout my day when I'm cleaning, just throughout my day. And I know that it's because there's a neighbor in my vicinity that's either watching it or addicted to it. And then it's trickling down on my environment. It is a succubus, incubus energy, demonic portals. When you watch porn, you're opening a portal, okay? You're opening a portal of really nasty demons that are going to come and screw you while you sleep. The tool that you are being given is the fire pit. This is number 38 for those of you who are into numerology. This is the pita associated with motivation and the tool that is being given to you to sustain an alignment is your motivation. So the key here, and that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw this card, is how are you going to get this done? You can't just wake up one day and say, how am I going to quit cocaine? It doesn't work that way. And it works through motivation. You have to be motivated. You have to see, there's like different levels, right? There's hitting rock bottom. When you have somebody that you care about and you want them to stop using something, you can't. You have to wait for them to hit rock bottom. I'm a recovering alcoholic. And how did I stop? I stopped because I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom, and that rock bottom is what connected me to source. So when you go through the underworld, even if you go through the underworld will always lead back out to the light. So the light will always win, no matter what. So you have to hit rock bottom. If you are like, where's the motivation? Where am I going to get it from? You're going to get it from hitting rock bottom. You know, you're going to have to hit rock bottom if you haven't already. Hitting rock bottom is what motivates you to go through the detox process. And the detox process is nasty. There's a lot of nightmares, cold sweats. It's nasty. Temptations, cutting people off. You have to cut people off that are associated to this. So whatever you are addicted to is capable of destroying your life. Okay? If you are a parent, a single father, for example, there's a meditation that us Taoists do. I am a Taoist, and there's a meditation that we do that's called the death meditation, where you visualize the whole process, your funeral, who's going to be there, how are they going to bury you? Are you going to be buried in a traditional indigenous blanket, or are you going to be buried in a toxic coffin that is going to take 2,000 years to decompose and contaminate the soil? Are you going to be burnt to ashes? Whatever. You visualize the whole thing. And as you are in the meditation, you start thinking, okay, I'm about to go 6 feet under, for example, and your whole life is going to flash before you, and you're going to remember all your mistakes and all the things that you could have done better. Imagine if you sit there and you think about how much more time you could have spent with your children had you not been addicted to this. Porn, for example. You're going to be in your coffin thinking, wow, I spent 1,500 and whatever hours watching porn when I could have been spending with my toddlers playing. And now they're too old to play with and it's too late. That's why the death meditation exists. So you can rewind and fix the problem and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let 20 years of my life go by on cocaine, drinking, these whatever addictions that you're struggling with, wasting all that precious time that you could have spent with your children, because you never, ever get that time back. That's why so many of us are so traumatized. We're so traumatized because of how we were raised, because our parents weren't parents, and now we're here, recovering. You don't have to be an alcoholic to be in recovery. You could simply be a survivor of something traumatic. In the sense, we're all in recovery of some sort. Rabbits. I'm not telling you to go binge and get to rock bottom. You could take it as a metaphoric message. I don't want you to do that literally. You know what I mean? I mean, working on finding motivation to do it, whatever that is. Um, if it's for somebody else, it has to be for hold on to something. What I got, the advice that I got from my father before he died. He didn't say this before he died, like literally before he died, but it was the last thing that I remember. And then he died a couple years later. He said, hold on to something. It doesn't matter what, but hold on to something. And he was talking about alcohol addiction. He was talking about quitting drinking and how the recovering addict cannot quit on their own. They need either a support system to hold on to, a reason to stay sober, such as children. I'm going to quit because I have children. I'm going to quit because my grandma needs me. I'm going to quit because I have to create painting. I have to create paintings and I can't do them if I'm, drunk. So hold on to something. Find what you can hold on to and hold on to it. For me personally, it was family member. I chose family members to hold on to, that I wanted to break the cycle. I am the cycle breaker. I am the generation curse breaker. I am the cycle breaker in my family, not only in my family, but in both sides of my family, I am the only one that is sober from alcohol. Alcohol destroys families and generations, or any addiction for that matter, right? So, for rabbits, this year is all about innovation. You will need to come up with new strategies to keep your plans in motion. Old ways are outdated. Invent, create, and test ideas. There is one thing I wanted to mention. For those of you who are not dealing with any kind of addiction, if it's around you, you're still dealing with addiction. If your spouse is using, if your parents is using, if your kids are using, your roommates, if it is around you, you have to find a way to remove this energy from you. It is not fair to anyone that you have to suffer over someone else's decisions. So if you're in a household where you have someone who just gets wasted all the time, you need to find another household. See if you can move in with an aunt, an uncle, a grandma, um, get a studio, whatever it is that you have to do, because even if it's not you doing it, it's going to affect you. Okay? If you have a spouse that just can't put the bottle down, divorce, divorce. It's life is too short to stay with someone who refuses to change. Um, I would have quit drinking a long time before I actually quit if my significant other at the time was willing to also quit with me. I would have quit so much long ago. So I didn't have a support system at the time. So that's why it's so important to have a support system to help you make those moves that other people around you are not helping you make. Does that make sense? Okay. So we have innovation here. By the way, that person ended up passing away. So the person that I'm speaking about, we broke up because they would not change. I broke up with them because they would not change. They continued and continued and continued to use and be deceptive. And um, we broke up. And then a couple of years later, they passed away from binging. They were binging alcohol and they were binging meth, and they completely lost consciousness of their body, and they got basically demonically possessed, and they just started um let's just say doing things that they weren't aware of, and then they got excuse me, arrested and did not come out of jail alive. Okay? I tell you that story because that's where addictions will lead you. Addictions will lead you to jail or the cemetery. And if you have a spouse that doesn't want to grow, you need to leave them because they are going to bring you down. You have to have a romantic relationship with someone that is willing to grow with you. Okay. And then last but not least, we have protection. You are being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while and you will be shown the truth. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, rabbits. Till next time. Bye.